Case Study 1. Trading gold to legitimize the proceeds of drug trafficking. In the United States, the Homeland Security investigations uncovered a scheme where illicit proceeds from a drug trafficking organization were being used to purchase gold. A criminal organization was buying gold from various precious metals retailers using illicit proceeds from narcotic sales. The gold was then sold to a precious metals broker who then sold it to other businesses. The proceeds of the sale were then wired to a third party out of the country with links to the drug trafficking organization, thus completing the money laundering cycle. Case Study 2. Sale of gold used as justification for movement of funds to another jurisdiction. A company operating Country A frequently sent representatives to Country B, offering services to buy gold, jewelry, and precious stones or metals above local market prices. As a consequence of this activity, high quantities of funds were transferred from Country A to Country B, with the reason given that the funds would be used to buy gold. The funds were then withdrawn from financial institutions in Country B as either cash or check very soon after the funds transfer were made. Few information were available about the movement of merchandise purchased. The same organization organized a significant event held at a luxurious hut in Country B, advertising an intention to buy gold. However, few clients were present at the event. Money sent to be surplus to the cost of holding the event were then sent back to Country A or sent to other countries where company did not operate, with the argument that they would be used for similar events. Case Study 3. Major drug syndicate paid workers in gold. In Australia, an investigation into a well-organized and resourced drug syndicate identified a former bank manager as the head of the operation. Allegedly, the suspect was involved in financing and facilitating the multi-million-dollar cannabis and amphetamines production operation and was linked with several well-known criminals. The head of the operation was suspected of laundering the proceeds from the drug syndicate through the purchase and sale of gold, the purchase of cattle, and through gambling. Authorities believe the suspect used cash to purchase gold from prospectors at a reduced price and then sold the gold to unrelated businesses and declared it as legitimate revenue. Police located a large quantity of gold nuggets and $161,000 cash hidden by the syndicate. Those involved in the operation were paid well, and some received bonus payments in drugs and gold. One worker was paid a total of $250,000 in cash, drugs, and gold in the 4 seasons he was involved in the operation. Syndicate chiefs were paid more than $300,000 each harvest, as well as being paid in gold bullion. Commonwealth proceeds of crime action was taken against the offenders and resulted in the restraint of over $4 million worth of assets, including rural properties, cattle, machinery, $220,000 cash, and a large quantity of gold. The law enforcement operation led to the arrest of a number of syndicate members who were subsequently charged and jailed for lengthy periods of time. Case Study 4. Third-party gold smuggling syndicate used to launder proceeds of illegal drug sales. In early 2014, the French police uncovered an international money laundering network used to launder the proceeds of the sale of cannabis in the Paris region of France. This case study summarizes the findings of the French law enforcement investigation. Moroccan dealers smuggled hash to France and sold it at street level. An Indian national organized the collection of the proceeds from the street sales. This money collection was undertaken by so-called salafs, who were aware that they were dealing with the proceeds of the crime, but not of the crime itself. This was an intentional decision by the group to put some distance between the predicate criminal activity and the salafs. This segregation of roles makes it difficult to demonstrate that the money is the proceeds of a specific predicate offense, which is necessary in a number of jurisdictions to prove money laundering. In this case study, the salafs took their orders from the Moroccan drug dealers and supplied the money to the Indian national. The investigation estimated that, in a 6-month period, the salafs collected well in excess of €10 million, whilst the Indian national kept a very low profile in France. He held a number of valuable assets in India. On receipt of the money, the Indian national arranged the transportation of the cash by car to Belgium, where it was used to purchase gold and jewelry. The bulk of the cash was deposited in cash into the different accounts of companies associated with an identified gold trader and used to purchase gold from a wholesaler. False invoices generated by the Indian national were used to support the transactions on the gold coins and ingots as well as gold certificates whenever authorities would question the holder of the gold. The investigation established two main routes used to move the gold to India. First route, both the jewelry and the gold were sent to Dubai using false invoices and fake companies in the UAE. If the transactions were completed without intervention, these false invoices were destroyed, and if not, then they were used to support the activity. The investigation established that the gold trader kept official records for the sale of 190 kilograms of gold in 11 months, with a value of approximately €6 million. However, the investigation calculated the need for gold by the syndicate was closer to 20 kilograms of gold per week. Details of the shortfall of gold were not established. The Indian national used relatives to transport the gold to India and the UAE, with one of the relatives traveling more than 200 times to India and the UAE from 2008 to 2014. The head of the Indian syndicate controlled a travel agency in India, which provided flight tickets to the mules and sometimes fake invoices for the purchase of gold. According to information, the gold was not smuggled to Dubai, but officially exported and declared to customs using the false invoices as a cover. In the first instance, the gold was transported to Dubai, where it was sold to local people or Indian nationals via Hawala Dar. On the sale of the gold, the Moroccan drug dealers were paid via controlled foreign exchange operations in Dubai. The physical gold was then smuggled into India, in this instance with the assistance of an employee of a travel agency based in Dubai who recruited mules to undertake the work for a small fee amounting to approximately €220. The investigations identified couple elder and, on one occasion, the use of a tolder to undertake this activity. A jeweler transformed the gold to make it easier to conceal, including mixing gold flakes with coffee, naked electrolysis of jewels, and 100-gram gold drops for internal concealment. Second route. An alternate route to transport the gold from Belgium to India was via the international airports of Bangkok and Singapore to a professional Burmese smuggler. The gold was then conveyed through Myanmar to India where it was sold. Irrespective of the route used, from the moment the money was collected off the streets in France, it took 5 days for the money launderers to pay back their Moroccan silent partners. The Indian syndicate's profit was based upon the conversion and resale of gold. By smuggling gold and avoiding taxes, the Indian syndicate was able to sell it competitively and still make a profit. The gold in question was purchased at €31 per gram in Belgium, and resold for €36.32 per gram in Dubai or India. The Belgium gold trader received a fee of €325 per kilogram, which equated to a profit of €5,000 per kilogram for the syndicate. This system used by the Indian syndicate was so profitable that the Indian gave up his normal commission of 2.25% on the money laundered. His only desire was to channel as much amana as possible in order to buy the gold again and again. Thus he offered the unique opportunity for his Moroccan partner to launder his money at no cost.